Hello everybody and welcome to part 2 of the review of the Virgin East Coast train pack by Hornby. As you probably remember, if you've seen part 1, I recommend you go and watch that first. We looked at the model in detail, even though it was quite quick, we did it quite quickly. But in part 2 we are now going to put her on the track and we can see what she runs like. Now I'm going to start off by putting on the DVT first. Shouldn't be nice and easy. There we go. So if we push that back a bit, then if we put on one of the coaches, there we go. If we couple those together, there we go. And then grab the second coach. There we go. Couple those together, and then finally the motor unit itself. Fairly simple to do. I think she's on. Yes, she is. So if we just push her back a little bit, there we go. Couple her together, and there we go. Now she is still on DC at the moment. I won't be chipping her because obviously she's not mine. So we're going to just run her on DC for today, which obviously I know it's probably technically not as good, at least not for me anyway. But at least if you are running this model on DC, you can at least see what she's like. And obviously if you have this model and you want to run it on DTC, then obviously the performance should be the same, if not a lot better, or a bit better than what obviously it is now, but obviously it should be smoother, quieter, and so on. Now obviously this is going to be the performance on the standard Hornby train set controller, because again that's what I use for my DC models, because I know I've said this many times now, but obviously I run DCC mostly. My layout is pretty much DTC. However, obviously the inner loop I've done it so that I can run both. However, I can't run both DC and DCC at the same time. It's literally just one or the other. So there's no point in me investing in a high quality DC controller, because again I won't use it enough to really get my money's worth with it. And I find the Hornby train set controllers, at least I have several of them, the performance from them is quite good. You do usually get nice smooth running of your models from them. I know obviously they can be quite loud, especially at lower speeds, but for me it's perfectly fine. I'm happy with it, so there we go basically. So if we just let's quickly see what her slow speed like now. And again, it's going to be quite now, she's going to sound quite noisy, but again the slow speed is very good from this model. So if we just see what that's like. There we go, very, very good. Obviously it's not perfectly smooth, it is a little bit, she is cogging a little bit, but that's not too bad. We go a little bit faster. Yeah, that's not too bad. And if we just get her to go back a bit, go a bit faster. Yeah, that's not too bad. Now again, obviously she does have a working pantograph, and you can just slide the switch here. If you slide it to the right, you'll then be picking up from the pantograph, but obviously where it's set now, she's picking up from the wheels. It can be a little bit iffy sometimes, this switch. You might just have to fiddle with it a little bit to make sure you're making proper contact. That's what I found with this one anyway, but overall not too bad, very good performance. But let's get her running around and see what she's like, and we'll get her running at some high speed as well, because obviously she's a class 91, she's a high speed train. We want to see what the high speed is like really, but let's get her running and see what she's like. Well, overall, it's not too bad. Obviously, she doesn't have the best mechanism in the world, but overall, she's not too bad. An excellent train pack for any collection. She's just fantastic. Obviously, I know the detail isn't the best that it can be, but she's a great model. Overall, she's fantastic. I really can't fault it, to be honest. Obviously, don't pay too much for the model, but if you want one, I definitely recommend you get one, because she's just fantastic. Really can't fault this model.